Hello and welcome to NCBI Labs. If you're an Android user, one of the most powerful accessibility tools that you can use is the TalkBack feature. Recently, NCBI Labs technology trainer JP Corcoran talked us through some of the top tips for using TalkBack on Android.
Hi guys, so we've just heard from Jude about how we can use TalkBack, the built-in screen reader on Android devices, to provide us with spoken feedback and notifications. We saw how to enable and disable TalkBack by going into device settings, and how, just like with VoiceOver on an iPhone or iPad, we can use gestures to move between different items on the screen, or move your finger around the screen to explore apps before opening them with a one-finger double tap. It's again worth highlighting here that both TalkBack and VoiceOver are actually quite similar, insofar as most of the basic gestures with the two screen readers work the same way. So this is obviously good news for any VoiceOver user who's considering switching over to Android. So for the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you a few useful tips when using TalkBack on an Android device. Tip number one is to do with turning on and turning off TalkBack through the accessibility shortcut. So currently there's two ways to enable and disable TalkBack on an Android device. The first option, as outlined in our video earlier, is to head straight to the device's Settings app, open Accessibility, then select TalkBack. In the confirmation dialog that appears, we tap OK. The second option is to press both volume keys together for 3 seconds. I'm going to do this now.
TalkBack resumed. Setting, sense home on top, weather clock, setting, Gmail, settings.
OK.
Double tap to activate, double tap and hold to long press.
So now we know that TalkBack is enabled and currently focuses on the Settings app on the home screen. If by any chance this doesn't work for you, you might need to go into the settings and making sure that the accessibility shortcut is enabled. Okay, so tip number 2 is to do with reading and editing text. So the first thing I'm going to do with TalkBack enabled is to swipe right on my screen to find the Notes app on the phone.
Gmail, WhatsApp, Keep.
Okay.
Double tap to activate, double tap and hold to long press.
So this is my Notes app on my phone. And I'm being given some feedback from TalkBack to say that I can double tap to activate this app, which is what I'm going to do now.
Keep on top, X recorder on bottom. Edit box, editing. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. For note body, in list, 2 items.
Okay, so straight away I'm taken through to the note, and I can swipe left to get through to the title of this note.
Edit box, JFK inaugural speech, 1961. For note title.
Okay.
Double tap to enter text. Double tap and hold to long press.
So this is how we can read text. But what if we want to make a change to some of the text that's featured on the page? So for example, here, I can do the third word in the note that I've made is actually misspelt. I've typed citizens, CITISENS. So I'm going to change the S in the middle of that word to a Z. So I'm going to swipe right.
Edit box, editing. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. For note body, code D.
Now,
Delta.
what I'm going to do is press the volume down button here to move the cursor back to the S I want to delete.
L, Lima, R, O, W, space, E, A, T, space, O, space, S, N, E.
Okay, so then the
Echo.
cursor is positioned directly after the S I want to delete. I press the delete key,
S deleted,
type in the letter I'm looking for,
Z.
and that's it. Okay, so using the volume up and down button makes
Gmail
it
has stopped.
that bit easier to edit text in a document like this. Okay, so tip number 3 is to do with stopping TalkBack speaking. So for example, if you wanted to quieten TalkBack, you don't want to have, for example, a whole document read back to you, there's 2 ways to do this. I can swipe left in this instance, for example, which would bring me to the title of the document. And what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to tap the screen with one finger anywhere at all, and it'll stop speaking, hopefully.
Edit box.
There you go. So I press the screen with one finger, and it didn't even read the message. It just stopped it straight away. This time what I'm going to do is going to swipe right. And what I'm going to do is cover up what's called the proximity sensor, which is located at the top of the device. And that also triggers TalkBack to stop speaking. So let's see how this works. I'm going to swipe right, and I'm going to hold the palm of my left hand over the proximity center, which is located at the very top of my phone.
Edit box.
Okay, and it stops speaking. Okay, so this is how you stop TalkBack speaking on your Android phone. Let's go back to the home screen.
Home button. Home screen on top. X recorder on bottom.
Okay, so tip number 4 is using the local and global context menu to navigate websites. So as you navigate an Android phone using TalkBack, there's 2 menus that are available to help you find settings and controls. There is the global context menu that contains commands that work anywhere. And then there's a local context menu, which varies depending on the focus item that you're on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just some gestures to enable both of these menus. So I'm going to briefly disable TalkBack on my phone, highlight on the screen what gestures are used to open each of these menus.
TalkBack suspended.
Okay, so for the global context menu, we swipe down the screen with one finger, like so, and then go to the right. Okay, so this is our gesture to open up the global context menu. Okay, on the other hand, for the local context menu, we swipe up the screen with one finger and then to the right. Okay, like that. Okay, let's put TalkBack back on.
TalkBack resumed.
So to demonstrate both features, I would now like to open up the Google Chrome browser on my phone.
Chrome, home screen. Chrome on top, X recorder on bottom. Technology.
Okay, so now we're through to the technology section of the NCBI website. Okay, so let's just say I want to be able to browse through different articles on this page until I find the one I want to read. Okay, so the first thing I do is I open up the local context menu by swiping up with one finger and then to the right.
Local context menu. TalkBack. Showing items 1 to 8 of 8.
Okay, so this brings up the local context menu where I can search by headings, links, words, line, characters, and so forth by swiping right or left. It's also worth pointing out that the context menu works a bit like the rotor on iOS devices, where we can quickly select the way we want to navigate a page, that is by heading, link, and so forth. So in this case, I want to search by headings and landmarks. So I swipe right until I hear that and then double tap.
Default, headings and landmarks. Headings and landmarks. Chrome on top, X recorder on bottom.
And now what I do is I swipe right on the phone.
NCBI Labs email alerts. Article, mobile apps for people with sight loss heading 2. Mobile apps for people. Article, Apple doubles down on accessibility heading 2. Apple double. Article, smart home technology, the practical benefits heading 2.
Okay, so I found an article on smart home tech by our IT trainer Joe Lanigan, which I'd like to read. So I'm going to double tap the screen to open it.
Article, smart home technology, the practical benefits.
Okay.
Collapsed, menu toggle button, not ticked.
So
double
now,
tap to toggle. Double tap to toggle.
what I'd like to do is open up the global context menu by swiping down the screen with one finger and then to the right, like an L shape.
Global context menu. TalkBack. Showing items 1 to 9 of 9.
So I have a few options here. I can read from the top of the screen, much like a 2-finger swipe down with VoiceOver to more or less say everything on the page. But what I also have is I have read from next item, which is what I'm going to select. So I'm going to swipe right in the context menu.
Read from top. Read from next item. Image of different devices, like tablet, smartphone, smart lamps, etc. Graphic, Chrome. Smart home technology, the practical benefits heading 1. We are all aware at this stage of smart speakers such as Amazon Echo and Google Home Assistant. It's always a good idea to hear how they can be used in our day-to-day lives as someone living with a visual impairment.
Okay, so now I can read the article. So of course, this is where the importance of a well-designed and accessible web page comes into play. as we would never be able to navigate a page like this effectively without the proper heading structure in place. This will apply, of course, to PDF documents. Okay, so let's go back to the home screen.
Home button. Home screen on top. X recorder on bottom.
That more or less wraps up my top tips for someone using TalkBack on an Android device. And thank you very much for watching.
Thanks very much, JP, for taking us through those top tips for using TalkBack on Android. Now, if you want to check out more interviews and how-to videos and even discussion about current technology, just look for the NCBI channel and be sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos. But for now, until next time, this is NCBI Labs.